Good morning. I think everybody's online. We're just going to go online here and have a quick peek. I love iPads. Wow. I love iPads. There we go. Turn that off. Okay. Let's go over and have a look. See what's going on. It's been so long since I used this iPad. You're going to notice that our morning coffee this morning is McDonald's. We are having some McDonald's coffee this morning. I like mine black with 2 sugars. I don't know about you. I haven't turned on my monitor here. There we go. So this morning, I'm not sure what we should talk about. What do you guys want to talk about this morning? Today we are streaming on both YouTube and Twitch. We're not streaming on Facebook this morning. I've decided that we should try streaming on something else today. We're trying out Restream, which is a web-based platform that allows you to stream to multiple locations. We use OBS to send our stream out, which is open broadcast software, which is kind of cool. Well, I just got to search for myself here. I'm not coming up. Okay, I'm going to search for, wow, a search for yourself. And I can't talk and type at the same time. Real problem doing that. There we go. We have our stream up. Great. Whether I can see what's going on, that's a whole other story. So I don't have access to the chat here this morning, but a couple things that we're going to talk about today. As you can see, we have one of these fine guys on my desk today. This is the 7-inch touchscreen for the Raspberry Pi. You can use this with the Raspberry Pi 2 Plus and the Raspberry Pi 3. We're going to be putting a Raspberry Pi 3 into this later today. And then we're going to set it up as a touch interface for the Prusa that we have in the background. We're going to try that. We've got a camera back here somewhere. I know that I brought one. We've also got some other things we're going to be testing out today. I don't know if we're going to do a live stream with it, but in this box we have a MKS. I'm just going to switch cameras here. We've got an MKS Gen 1.4 controller board that we are going to test out with the touchscreen interface, the MKS touchscreen interface, which I think is going to be a really good idea. We're still trying to set things up here in the studio a little bit. So if you guys want to see that, by all means, let me know, and we'll see what we can do about getting that out and to you. I've been really just kind of really interested in looking at, I have this board in every printer I own, with the exception of my Wanhao i3, Duplicator i3. I don't have this board in my Duplicator i3, but I do have it on my Wilson 2 that I built, the Prusa in the back here that I built. And I have it on, I replaced the board that came with my Hick top that back in December. I replaced the board that was on there with this one. Really like this board. It has a lot of inputs and outputs. It's based on the Ramps 1.4 architecture, so it uses 5. I'm just going to get my mic out of the way there. It uses 5 stepper drivers. The only thing about this board that I think I'm a little taken back by is that the last port here, which is labeled for your second extruder, if you're using 2 motors to run your Z, you're better off running your second motor off of this particular stepper back in the back here. And you can change that in the Marlin firmware so that you're running 2 independent steps. The one thing you want to make critically sure is that they are both set at the same voltage and that sort of thing. So that's the board we're going to use today. We're going to do some testing with that. We also are going to be using the DRV 8825s. I don't know how well you can see that in the package. The DRV 8825s, these are a 1/32 stepping ratio as opposed to 16 microstepping. This says 32 microsteps. So it's a little quieter than your traditional step sticks that you would find on a stepper motor. So we're going to test those today. Well, we use these anyway, so we know how good they are. We do have the original LCD display that came with this unit. My only complaint about these LCD displays is that the cords that they send with these, the ribbon cables, they're just way too short to go anywhere. They're only about 1 foot long, and they really, you've got to be really diligent about where you place them. So that's what we're going to do today, is we're going to check out all this stuff. This was a box that was sent from Bayonne, China, that I got here quite a while ago, and I've just kind of been holding on to it. So we're going to do some testing with that stuff today. What else? We have all the parts printed now for our project that's going to be coming up on the show. The show, by the way, is called The First Layer. The First Layer is going to premiere in October, just before our Maker Faire here in Calgary. Maker Faire is happening on the 27th and 28th of October, I believe. I'll have to double check that, but I believe it is those 2 days. So 27th, 28th is our Maker Faire. It's happening at Spruce Meadows. If you're interested in our Maker Faire, by all means, get in touch with the Maker Faire people here in Calgary and get yourself a table, whatever you need to do. I'm going to be there covering the show for The First Layer, which is a new 3D printing show that's really geared towards the first-time 3D print enthusiast. If this is something that you're wanting to get into as far as printing, and you want to start 3D printing, you've heard about it, you've maybe tried it out, maybe you haven't tried it out, but you're really interested in the process of 3D printing and desktop manufacturing. So this is what the show is about. I'm going to go through all the mistakes I made when I built my first printer, which was a kit from Hicktop. I will tell you that. I'm not a huge fan of their products. Their support to me is less than desirable. So if I can't get support, I might as well build it myself and be my own tech support. Other than that, this is going to be a really interesting project because this is an official Raspberry Pi case for the 7-inch touchscreen. We don't have the Raspberry Pi in there yet. We just have the board. We're going to put the Raspberry Pi in there. We're going to do that later on today. We're also going to get into what happens when your print fails. I wanted to talk a little bit about that this morning over morning coffee. What do you do do you just move on? And how many times do you print the same thing? And how many times does it fail? And why does it fail? A good example, we've been printing parts for this ATST walker. And the other leg that goes on this side, for whatever reason, has failed 3 times. It's just for, it's one of those things. It just keeps failing and failing and failing. It's driving me crazy. But I do need to get it printed so that I can finish this model. So that will be on our list of things to do. What else are we working on here? We are working on these are the parts for a blaster, an E11 blaster, which is from Star Wars. It is an interesting gun, and the build is really cool. We're doing this all out of PLA, black PLA. What else we got on the shelf? We are continuing on with our project to build the Warp Core Light. We're going to continue on with that. We still have to put a light in our TARDIS in the background there. And at some point in time, we are going to do more of this mask. This mask is Darth Vader, of course. And this was a model that I purchased. I can't remember where I purchased it, but I did purchase the files for it. It is a multiple file build. It's strong. I think so far my only complaint is a little bit of the detail is soft, especially right here in the cheek. This should be a lot more pronounced. So maybe when we go to fill that and we finish this and get it all painted up, we will we'll use a little bit of putty in there, and we'll straighten that up and get it nice and sharp like it should be. So there's a few details on this, but the print came out beautifully. Like every part of this came out beautifully. This was printed on the Wanhao i3, Duplicator i3. We're going to talk about the Duplicator i3 and upgrades that you may want to make to it as you move forward. If you have a Duplicator i3 or you're thinking about buying one, there are some upgrades that I highly recommend that you do, and we'll talk about those in an episode of the First Layer. What we're doing with the First Layer, different to other shows that I've done in the past. Most of the shows that I've done in the past have been live streams, or they've been pre-recorded. A good example of a pre-recorded show that we did was Amazing Plastic to Scale Model Show, which a lot of people still wish I was doing. I just don't have the time to invest into that show anymore. It takes a lot of time to build models, and when you have to do setups to make sure that you're getting all the angles and being able to teach people what you're doing along the way, really becomes very time consuming. I was spending about 5 to 6 days a week working on that show to get one episode ready. So we abandoned that show just because it was too much, or I abandoned that show, not we, because it's really only my show. Abandoned it because it just took too much time out of my day, and I wanted to, get other things done. What else is going on? Let's have some more coffee. It's one of those mornings where I need coffee. So, with that being said, if you've got any questions and you want to see what's happening, by all means, drop me a line to Richard at Cleveland-mediagroup.com, and I will be happy to answer any questions that you might have in the upcoming show. We're trying with the software that we're using. We're trying now to stream to 2 different locations, Twitch and YouTube, as I said earlier. So far, it seems to be going good. The stream seems to be quite smooth over on YouTube. I haven't pulled up Twitch here. I'm just going to pull up Twitch on the iPad and see if I actually have it on here. I might have it on here. It's been so long since I used this iPad. I had it sitting in a closet for the longest time because I wasn't using it, but it's a great little tool to have on my desk. What else have we got here? Let's see if we can go into Google. There we go. Google. Google usually helps. See if we can get onto Twitch. See if we can get onto the my personal channel over on Twitch. I really need to put a keyboard on this thing. There we go. So we will be going back to streaming on Facebook as well. We're just in the throes of trying to get things organized here. Once we do, the episodes will be coming out. We'll be pre-recording them, editing them, polishing them a little bit, making them look, good for you guys. But I am going to continue to do these live streams in the mornings. I think they're a good way to get me back into the groove of talking to you guys through the camera. Of course, we got everything on here that's games. Okay, I want to go to Twitch. Just take me to Twitch. I just want to go to Twitch. Take me to Twitch. Why won't you take me to Twitch? Twitch TV. Okay, so we're on Twitch. Why can't I search on Twitch? That's not what I want. I want to go to... Man, it's been so long since I used it. Okay, so got me on Twitter, got me on GitHub, got me on LinkedIn. Okay, so that's not, go do this. Back that up, we'll go. Wow. Can't even find my own channel on Twitch here. That's really strange. Up. Go like this. Did we get something there? We still do not get something there. Okay, so let's go back. And of course. Oh, there's a Twitch app. So why don't I just go to the Twitch app? That'd be smart, wouldn't it? You know what would be even smarter is if I just grabbed another laptop and brought it up here and had a look that way. Because that would be the easiest way to do it. That'd be the smartest way to do it. We're going to install that app. While that's installing, give me a second. I'm just going to grab another laptop real quick. We can do whatever we need to do on this show. We have the technology. I believe. Sometimes we have technology, other times we don't. We'll open up that one. We'll see how that's going to work out. We definitely need to work on upgrading our streaming computer a little bit here as well. The streaming computer that we have is good, don't get me wrong. However, it is not it's not up to current specs. I think it's a first or second gen i7 that is in there. It's got 12 gigs of RAM. It's an early Asus i7 board. And by the way, I'm not endorsing, they are not a sponsor, McDonald's coffee. I just enjoy their coffee a lot. So, log in there. You gonna allow me to log in? Guess not. This laptop is fairly old and is incredibly slow. So it's looking up my Google account. Okay. So we are going to go to that. Okay, and password. Be it. Right there. Look at that. We are live. So there we are. Ah, now I still cannot see the chat. Why can I not see the chat? Oh well, we'll worry about that another time. This thing is still booting up. So just quickly again about what we've got coming on the channel. We have built a separate channel for the first layer under the Cleveland Media Group. And for those that aren't familiar with what's transpired, most of you may know me from Naked Ape Productions. Naked Ape Productions is the company that I started a number of years ago, and it now has migrated to Cleveland Media Group. I won't get into the details why we changed the name. But everything is still the same. So everything that you saw before, Between the Pages, Amazing Plastic Scale Model Show, Popcorn Lobby, all the shows that we did over that 6-7 year span are still going to be available. So they're all for everybody to watch and use, and you know, the shows are still getting views, and I really appreciate that. But we are moving things to a newer platform. We're trying to stream better. We're trying to record better. All of the new shows for the first layer, which is a show about 3D printing, in case you're just joining us. It's a brand new show that we are going to do, and if you're interested in being a part of that, let me know. Drop me a line. I don't have a lower third ready, but you'll be able to find it in our group here. What else? Let's quickly get back to a couple of things. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I've got two of these 7-inch touchscreens. One I'm using at home as a sort of a what's a good way to, a tablet. It's a little thick for a tablet. You can see that there. I was thinking about reprinting this as reprinting the case on this, seeing as I have the ability to do so. With this, I want to use this as an interface for this particular printer. I'm not sure yet, and maybe some of you that are watching, or maybe are going to watch this in the restream later or rebroadcast later, can leave me a comment down below. Can you, or can you not, have video access when you turn this into your controller on the touch screen using Octoprint? I'm not sure. I'm going to look into that. It's 6 of one, half dozen the other. I have also another tablet at home that I just have to find. It's packed somewhere. I haven't dug out all of my electronics. But if you are interested in seeing us use this to run our printer, or seeing us use an Android tablet to run our printer, let me know. We're also going to see exactly how many printers we can control with one set of Raspberry Pis. I have a cluster of Pis that I was using at home in a small RAID, or not RAID, but as a cluster server at home. We weren't using it very much. It was kind of sitting there collecting dust, and there's a lot of dust on it. I brought it with me to the studio today. It is, if we can use that and we can put cameras on it and let it run, then that's what we're going to do. Out in the showroom of Spool 3D, we're at spool3d.ca, in case you're unaware of that. Spool3d.ca is an online retailer, and now they actually have a location in Calgary that you can physically come and visit, a brick and mortar store that you can physically come and visit. And they have just about everything you need here. You can get parts, you can get printers, you can get filaments. If you watched yesterday's morning coffee, you'll notice we were talking about filaments that Spool 3D had. They basically have everything that you need. I exclusively use Spool 3D's filaments now. I have used a few other filaments in the past, and I really, really like the Spool 3D, not only because they're a sponsor, but I liked it before they became a sponsor of the show that we're starting to record. And it really is very, very cool. For anybody who doesn't know how we're set up here, we're in a room that maybe is, say, 14 feet deep, maybe 16 feet. Maybe not quite 16, and it's about 10 feet wide. And it's kind of odd shaped. It's got a little crook in the wall. So what we've done is we brought in all the gear that we had in my home studio, because my home studio is not finished yet. And we decided to do the show from here. The owner, Derek, was very, very generous in offering us the space to do the show for the first season. We may be here actually for the second season. We have no idea. We may continue to be here for a long time. We're still talking about that, which means I won't have to do a home studio, but I'd like to, because I want to, with Cleveland Media Group, I want to get into other things that really help you guys set up your studios. There's lots of great resources out there right now. We're going to talk about equipment that I use at some point in time to stream the show. We're using off-the-shelf consumer-grade HD cameras here. The one that you're seeing me on now is an HFG 30, I believe. It's by Canon. It's a Vixia. It is their consumer level model. The prosumer model, which is one step up, is $1,000 more, and the only differences between this camera and that camera is that camera has a handle on top with XLR inputs. and it has night vision. This one doesn't have either one because I don't need it because we never film at night. And this, although the rig is set up to be a shoulder rig, and it's on a set of Manfrotto sticks right now, or legs, tripod, and a floating head, smooth floating head. It's easy to get up, run and gun and go if I need to. And there's a nice big light on top of it, and we have a small light up here, which is acting as our hair light. You can see on my quickly balding head. And then over here we have a small consumer grade Canon camera, which is our B-Cam. And that just basically, that's this shot here when you're seeing all the junk on the desk right now. That usually does close-ups of whatever we have on the desk and that we're talking about. And then here we have a computer that runs our switching software. We're using a Blackmagic ATEM television studio, which has served us very well. I really enjoy it. I like the product. I like the ATEM products all around. Blackmagic Design has really come leaps and bounds over the last few years with what they're offering. They're now offering a little mini studio camera, 4K. We're not at 4K yet. We're not ready to do 4K, but we will at some point in time, probably next year when we can afford it. We may get into 4K, but right now we're just kind of hanging out. Getting back to talking about 3D printing and what we're doing here with the show. The show is really going to be for anybody who is into 3D printing or is just starting out in 3D. We're going to cover the basics, how to buy your printer, if you bought a kit, how to put it together. If you have bought maybe a second-hand printer and you on an acrylic frame, like the Prusa in the back, we didn't buy that second-hand, but it is on an acrylic frame. If maybe you want to move those parts to a metal frame, how to do that, how to make that transition, what to look for, what parts should you print, that kind of thing. We're going to talk extensively about the Wilson II printer throughout this first season. The Wilson II is a great little printer designed by a gentleman called Marty Rice. We've made some improvements to it and some changes to it here at Spool 3D. One of the things that we did was we changed out the wooden Y-axis bed to an aluminum Y-axis bed, and it is really, really good. It's heavy. We had a little discussion with the people that cut them for us. They cut them out of some leftover material for us, just to get us some. The only thing that they did do was they made them 6 millimeters as opposed to 3 millimeters. So they cut them out of a little thicker material. The Y-axis bed on a Wilson II is made from 6 millimeter MDF or plywood or whatever you're having. But it needs to be, but it doesn't need to be laser cut. I shouldn't say that. It can be laser cut. It can be hand cut. There's measurements and dimensions are all there. When I originally had mine done, I had to have the file altered a little bit just because of the 200 by 300 bed that I was using. The holes on the corners didn't quite line up. So I had a friend of mine who is a design engineer take it and shrink it down and make it fit the heated bed that I was putting on the Wilson II. And then we found a local water jet company that was willing to cut us some, and we got them cut out of aluminum. And let me tell you, those things don't bend, they don't warp, they're not susceptible to moisture. They're amazing. Even at the 6 millimeter thickness, which is a little overkill, but the Wilson II is, I'd like to say it's over-engineered. If you're looking for a Wilson 2, all the files are available online. You can go to GitHub or you can go to Thingiverse. Just look up Wilson and then 2. You can put the number 2 in, or you can just put 2 I's in. Very, very cool. It is one of the strongest engineered printers I've ever seen. It is amazing. I've been using it now for quite a while. Take my phone out of my pocket, it's going to get too hot. I've been using it for quite a while now and really, really like it. I've done some improvements to it myself. I took the monitor bracket that comes with it and changed that out for another one that I found on Thingiverse. I put on an MKS Gen board like this one here that I was talking about earlier. And it also has a MKS MOSFET on it for the heated bed, which is really, really cool because it now doesn't have to go through the board before it sends a signal or power back down to the heated bed. Power goes directly to the MOSFET. The MOSFET feeds the bed directly. All there is a control wire, set of control wires that go up onto the MKS board, and that tells it to heat up, to temperature down, whatever the process needs to be. I have to log in here. I have to log into all my computers. Oh, I put in the password wrong. There we go. And we'll see if we're going to come up on Twitch at all. I hope we are. We're on Twitch. We're not going to go for too much longer this morning. This is really just testing out what we're doing. We have access to the internet. This laptop came out of my supply of laptops at home. And it's still looking for our NAS at home. Which, of course, is not here. There we go. See if we're on Twitch. We should be streaming on Twitch. It says we are online. If you're interested, I'm going to drop a bunch of names here today. If you're interested in setting up and getting really good advice about setting up your own live stream or even doing a YouTube channel, I'm going to highly recommend that you go and look at Live Streaming Pros. They, over there, Loria Pertucci, I believe that's her name. She used to go by another name when she was on GeekBeat TV. And of course, now that name escapes me. It's a problem when you get old. For those who don't know, I'm 52 years old. And I'm still doing this kind of stuff. I love doing this. This brings me back to my radio days. So we are going to go to our channel here. Probably going to have to turn this down. Hey, we are live over on Twitch. Cool. Oh, we were live. Oh, it's an advertisement. I love advertisements. And the advertisement coming up is for a show that I actually want to see. Atomic Blonde, based on a comic book series. So if you're a comic book fan, you may like this. And it's got Charlize Theron in the title role. And it looks amazing. And John Goodman's in the movie. The kid who played Xavier's in the movie. There we are. Okay, so we do have have that stream running as well. That's cool. We're using Restream today to get to all of these two networks. We did post over on Facebook that we were doing this. If you're interested in the Twitch stream, it's twitch.tv/NAP, which is Naked Ape Productions, because that's when we originally set this up, _Richard, my name. I'm going to be looking for suggestions about what you guys would like to see on the first layer. Do you want me to do reviews? Do you want me to do interviews? Do you want me to do more focus on how-tos? We're going to cover all of that, but what would you guys like to see more of? And it really is up to you guys, because essentially going to be your show. You tell me what you want to see, and I'll be the dancing monkey and show you what you want. I don't know what coffee they use. I really don't, but I really like the McCafe coffee. I don't know why, but I do. Okay, introducing auto mode. Go to settings. I don't care about that. I just want to be already on auto. Okay, I don't need. All right, there we go. So there's a chat room open in Twitch. There's a chat room open in YouTube, and yeah, so there you go. But it is getting on to 9:30, so this was just going to be a short one this morning. Good morning. Hope everybody's having a good cup of coffee this morning, like I am. We don't do product placement in this show, not at all. But you guys have a great morning. It's going to be 32 degrees here in Calgary, Alberta today. So if you are watching this from Calgary, stay inside, stay air conditioned, or if you're going to be outside, stay hydrated, stay covered. That sun's going to scorch you pretty good today. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for this week's wrap up, and then we'll see you again on Monday as we get ready to start streaming our new show. Later.